Today's story is somewhat humorous. Let's go for practice. Share it. It's humorous, but it's also an insight into history, into a very difficult time. So we're telling you stories. The Russian government attempt to control, and it did succeed. The Chitzon is to control Jewish life, and particularly chinuch. So these conventions that were called by the government, and one of the things the government wanted is that all Jewish children have to learn limud chol, or have to learn secular subjects. So the Rabbonim, all the rabbis convened in St. Petersburg, Petersburg. The matter was discussed, and there was a Rav there, wasn't overly clever. And in their internal discussion, he said, there's two parts of the story. He says that Rambam, who was a big Lamda, and also learned secular studies. So obviously, it's not a contradiction to learning Torah. I'll tell you addresses this in Tanya, but it's just as an aside. This is the Rogachover story. They told this to the Rogachover, the comment of this Rav. His comment was, how does the Rav know that the Rambam was a Lamdan? Now, you're saying this Rav learns the Rambam with such amaratus that he thinks he learns Rambam. He doesn't understand what the Rambam is saying. How does he know the Rambam is a Lamdan? Okay, the next story is really where you get to. So this same Rav, we don't know his name, thank God. So this same Rav at the Asifa, another thing also was they have to learn the Limud Chol after they learn Russian. To learn Russian. So he says, what's so terrible? He says that when they arrested the Alter Rebbe, he said, if the Alter Rebbe would have known Russian well, he had to have a translator, and then his son helped him, Moishe, but if he would have known it well, he'd be able to answer his interrogators much better than through an interpreter. So here too, what's so terrible? It's useful that Rabbonim, and he should know Russian. So Rabbi Chaim Brisker, I've told you about him, the greatest goinim of the previous generations. So he's also at this meeting, and we heard stories of them. We worked together with the Rebbe Rashab, Meridik and Moishe, we told yesterday. So he was not able to tolerate this nonsense that this Rav was spewing. So he says, you're telling a Chassidic story of the Alter Rebbe. He was a Kavayachal Misnaged from the Gaon. So I'll tell a Chassidic story. Chaim Bisk is telling a Chassidic story at the Asifa. So everybody's like, what's the story? So he says it's known that they would say that when the Beditchev said Keser, Shabbos, Yom Tov, Rosh Chodesh, so he brought brachas for women to have children who were barren, couldn't have children, struggled with fertility. There's no Beditchev Keser. So once the story goes, it says of Chaim Brisker, a girl became pregnant, was unmarried. So the Beis Din wanted to know, she should say, like, who? Who's the father? She said, where did the baby come from? From the Kesser of Rabbi Yitzchak. Yitzchak's Kesser. So Rabbi Chaim concluded, everybody laughed. Rabbi Chaim Brisker concluded, addressing this Rav, that you're telling from the story of the Alter Rebbe, this Kisser, bring a raya, that it's a good thing to know Russian. It's the same as... It's also inside how a Gaon speaks. He told the story, didn't spell it out. He just told the vice, everybody laughed, and that was the end of the discussion. Huh? No, so this guy, that's it. He was, the Rabbonim came out with their position, and what? What's that? The government invited him. It was, the government invited these Rabbonim. They're big